everybody. Welcome to the Weird World podcast.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Carrie.
I'm Jack.
I'm Dean.
It's going to be a regular thing now. I'm going to talk about our favorite listeners who either give us a good review or send us an email or somehow. So today I'm going to talk about two. K, first initial, didn't get a first name. Last initial's F. This is somebody who is super knowledgeable about the whole Martin family disappearance.
Oh, in Oregon.
Yes.
Into
Washington.
the
Was
river.
it Washington?
Well, on the border.
Yeah. Anyhow, they know more probably than the Martin family knows about it.
Well, the Martin family's dead, so.
But anyhow, thanks,
We'll never
Kay, for all of the info in the emails that you sent to me, us.
Okay.
But really just me, because I'm the one that reads them. Okay. And then also Don H., I believe, from Kentucky, who probably isn't listening.
I'm pretty damn sure.
Because they didn't like us very much.
No. They were unhappy about, I think, me
Probably.
poking a little fun at Kentuckians. I believe in the Hopkinsville
Yes.
UFO
Yes.
story. I would just like to say, Don, since you're not listening, I'm sorry. I
And-
don't mean to be mean to any Kentuckians. It's a joke. If it was offensive, I honestly...
Don't say if it was offensive. It was offensive.
It was offensive to her, so I apologize, or him or her.
I think it's a her.
I apologize. Didn't mean to offend. We never mean to offend, but we're just
Really?
having
Sometimes
fun.
we
People
do.
make fun of Californians all the time. No, Kentucky people are just as smart as anybody else in the country. I'm 100% kidding whenever I tease my fellow Americans in Kentucky.
It is stereotype jokes.
It totally is. And it's lazy stereotype, and I
Yes,
would be
it is.
first to admit that for sure.
We're pretty lazy.
Yeah. Well, okay, at least about that anyway. So, can't guarantee it won't happen again.
Oh,
but,
it will definitely happen again.
But I'll try not to. I'll be better.
But we also, pretty much make fun of, or,
Tease.
Sure.
Gentle ribbing.
whatever. I mean, good Lord. I don't even think we're kidding when we talk about Texas.
Wow. Okay. Now I am, just for the record.
At least the
Texas
government.
is great. Great university system.
Do
A
they?
lot of great people. Absolutely.
What, do they allow real books?
I'm not talking
Unlike
about
the
the
lower
K
grades?
through 12, not
Yeah.
so much. But
Listen. Yes.
the university system is A1. University of Texas at Austin, a great research university.
I know.
And a lot of smart people there. I know many Texans. Every Texan I know personally, I like.
Well, and at one time, they did elect Dan Richardson as their governor.
There you go.
They could always go back to their good old ways.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Jeez.
that takes care of, we should have done one good, one bad, one good.
That 2 is enough.
Okay, all right. So, are you ready?
Dean, what you
Yes.
going to talk about?
I am going to talk about animals today. I'm going to start with saying that the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, also known as the ASPCA, has been around since 1866. Did you know that?
Holy moly, I did not know that.
I did not either. Seems like a lot longer than I would have expected. Its inspiration, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Great Britain, goes back to 1824.
Wow.
It was given official royal status in 1840. Whatever that means. I have no idea what that means to be officially royal. I don't
So
know.
I'm going to ask a dumb question.
Okay.
What animal cruelty were they concerned with? Like livestock? Or
Probably.
pet? Was it
horses.
pets?
I don't think so much pets. I don't know, maybe, but probably horses and livestock. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm completely guessing. On
Well,
that
that's
point,
good.
but probably, yeah, it was.
I'm
Earlier than I would have
anti-animal-
thought. That.
I'm anti-animal cruelty as well.
Wow, taking a bold stance there, Carrie. That's brave of you. You know what? You don't like to use the word hero or
True.
courage or courageous, but, it fits. They've done good work. Veterinarians associated with the ASPCA, for instance, developed anesthesia for animals in 1918. If you're wondering when anesthesia for humans was invented, it was decades before that. So it took a little while, but eventually they were able to operate on horses and things like that under anesthetic, thanks to the ASPCA.
Sure.
They've also funded or they've run many animal shelters. They've facilitated countless pet adoptions. And they've all, for many years now, urged us to spay and neuter our pets.
Yeah.
So they did good work.
We got one of our pets through the SPCA.
ASPCA, I'm assuming, 'cause we're in America. So.
No, it was a county name and then
was it?
SPCA.
Okay. All right.
No A.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Recently, they have advocated the end of horse-drawn carriages in New York City.
Good.
Just New York City.
They're very active in New York City. I
Yeah.
don't know. There's a lot of. They're founded in New York. The ASPCA.
We have them in
so-
our.
We
Yeah,
do.
I was going to
Old-
say they're literally in
Old
Old Town,
Town.
Sacramento.
Yeah, but if you do that in New York City and Manhattan, that would break the hearts of many tourists who. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I mean, the horse-drawn carriages in New York City are kind of like getting a soft pretzel from one of those corner kiosks, and they taste just as good, by the way, as the horses. So it's a tradition, and
Listen, some traditions can go in the trash.
I suppose,
Are you,
yeah, we did one, and
are
it
you
was
acting
not
like
that
you really
interesting.
care about it?
No,
Yeah,
not really.
I'm okay with it going away. I'm
Okay.
okay with it going away here.
Me too.
Okay, agreed.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Tabled. Motion is, I don't know what that means.
Carried.
Carried. That's it. That's what.
Carried.
Just to be clear, by the way, in case you're wondering, some people might be, the ASPCA is not the same thing as PETA, the People for the
Oh,
Ethical
God.
Treatment of Animals.
Yes.
Important distinction.
Very important, because no ASPCA member, as far as I know, has ever tried to link milk to autism or thrown blood at a model wearing a fur coat, as far as I know. And yes, the PETA did try to link milk to autism. It's scientifically not true. It's pretty, just because they're anti-dairy and they're a vegan group. Pretty scummy. So despite decades, though, of concern for animals, the ASPCA and similar organizations have been unable to stop all of the terrible things that we have done to animals over the years. And today we're going to talk about some of those things. I want to stress, if you care deeply about animals, as we do, some of these items may be, uncomfortable, but nothing here is going to be super graphic at all. I'm not going to do anything about experimentation
the
or
hell?
vivisection or anything like that.
I thought this was going to be a happy
It is.
topic.
For the most
Look
part, it
who's
is.
talking.
It's not completely. For the most part, it's kind of funny, weird, strange things we humans have done for animals in the
right.
name of science.
Okay.
Okay?
Better be-
Trust me on this. I'm not going to, I swear to God, nothing's graphic, nothing experimentation at all. Nothing like
Also, we can't move forward if we don't look
back-
back at what we've done and mend our ways. and
Wow.
be
You
Change your
better.
tune real
that.
quick.
She suddenly became extremely so philosophical. Did you notice that? Wow. Very
Well,
sage-like.
it's kind of an issue that's very topical right now
All right.
in
All right.
schools like in Texas.
Okay. What is your problem with Texas all of a sudden?
God.
Well,
We cannot.
Google it.
Okay, we'll Google it, everybody. Just Google Texas and go with it. Let's start with, I think, something we can all agree on, which is that we would love to know if it's going to rain or not. Wouldn't you?
This is not high on my priority
Oh,
of
come on.
issues in my life.
You're going outside.
Well, maybe not
yeah.
yours, but the
I know.
agricultural community it is.
And people who have to go
Definitely.
outside.
And also, we live in California. We're drought prone.
I know.
It
We are.
should be
We
high
are.
on your list of priorities.
Yeah, Gary. I think we
I
have
know, but
fairly attacked you here.
I don't need to manipulate animals to tell me. I mean, I'm assuming
Well.
it's going to come down to animals.
Maybe we'll see. Today, of course, we have weather apps that tell us things like there's a 40% chance of rain, which doesn't it seems like it's probably not going to rain. But when they say it's a 40% chance of rain, it's very, very likely to rain. Very counterintuitive, AccuWeather. Stop with the percents. Just say you have three things. Say, yeah, it's almost certainly going to rain.
No.
Or it might rain, but very likely not. Or in the middle, which is we don't know, because that's usually the right answer. So I'm and also stop with those little raindrops that you count under the cloud on the day, like 2 drops or 4 drops, because I don't know what the difference between 2 drops and 4 drops is, and I don't think you do either.
Yeah,
AccuWeather,
I do.
So knock it
The more
off.
drops, the harder it's going to rain.
Whatever. Harder.
Are
Really?
you kidding me?
Really?
The more
Like
rain there will be.
More power behind those drops.
No, the more drops per square inch,
Yes,
bitch.
Dean.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I don't,
You don't
sounds like
spend
sorcery to me.
you don't spend a whole lot of time out in the rain when it does rain. So
No, he's afraid of wet.
Not at all. I love the rain. I'm very pro rain. What are you talking about? As Jack just said, this is a drought-stricken
Yes,
land.
Dean.
I'm very much in favor
But you're a
of
little
rain.
bit delicate when there's rain.
What is happening? That's not true at all.
It is absolutely
No, it's not.
true.
Who wanted to take the dogs out for a walk when it was pouring rain and who didn't?
Who
I
want
rest
lasagna?
My case.
That's the one exception, and it's weird. You're
Anyway.
weird.
So,
Jesus Christ.
in 19th century England, they did not have weather apps. Not yet, anyway.
No, yeah.
They didn't have any apps, really.
Well,
maybe
they-
appetizers. They had mozzarella
they did.
sticks.
They
Thanks
did.
for that tidbit of knowledge.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks to a man named George Merriweather, though,
Oh,
Perfect.
they had leeches.
Oh, tiger leeches?
I don't know. The
Okay.
kind of leeches you find in England.
Okay, so how did these leeches tell us when it's going to rain?
Okay. Kara just wants to end this, apparently. I'll be getting to that. According to Merriweather, leeches could tell us when it was going to rain. In total seriousness, this is a thing. So Merriweather was a doctor. He was also the curator of the Whitby Literary and Philosophical Society and its museum in Whitby. That's a town situated on the coast of Yorkshire. I guess that'd be in northeastern England.
Okay.
As a doctor, he was naturally quite familiar with leeches because, as you know,
Yes.
they used to use leeches for medicine back then.
And today,
Yeah, back then, they usually did more harm than good.
well,
They
yes,
just,
that's true.
took blood out of your system when you desperately needed it because you had leukemia or something like that. I don't know if it's leukemia, but
No.
Anything.
they drained blood for when
Yes.
you needed blood. It
Got a
was
tummy ache?
pretty
Leeches.
leech 'em.
Slide them open.
Yep. That's what happens, though, when a society ignores science in favor of tradition and superstition. Hint, hint, society. I'm just saying. Sorry, social commentary. Merriweather had noticed that leeches appeared to react to weather conditions. Specifically, he thought they responded to electrical conditions in the atmosphere.
Electric.
Yeah. And he also remembered this poem. I don't know which came first, his observation or this poem. It was by Edward Jenner. Does that ring a
Oh,
bell?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Baby smallpox.
He was the pioneer of vaccinations who invented the first vaccine for smallpox. He was also a poet, believe it
Yeah,
or not.
yeah.
And he wrote a book of poetry. One of those poems was called Signs of Rain, in which he basically said, here are some things that signify the potential for rain. Here was the snatch of Jenner's poem that Merriweather sort of
hold
snippet. So it's not,
Is that?
here's the
Oh.
snippet. Snatch is not a good.
No, I wasn't sure what you meant.
You ever heard that phrase? That's a phrase.
No.
People say that. That's a snatch of a poem, a little bit of a snippet. Same thing. It's synonymous with snippet, snatch.
That's a vagina of a poem.
Sure. You've never heard that?
That's
Carrie's
the
snorting.
pussy of the poem.
God, I'm pretty sure. Look it up. Google it. Google Texas and snatch. Google
sorry.
Texas snatch.
Okay,
See what happens.
the non-dirty meaning of snatch is to like grab.
Yes.
Okay, so-
I could be
get
mixing
it.
it up with snippet in a literal sense, but I don't know.
Excerpt.
let's
This is
just
an
go.
I
excerpt.
think you did.
Let's just delete this entire thing. So,
No.
oh my God. No, we're not deleting Carrie's snorting. That's for damn sure. So here's the snippet of Jenner's poem, the word police over here, who's
Oh, bitch.
His-
Don't
I
act
thought
like
we were
that's
just going to
outlandish.
completely ignore it.
Uh-uh.
Go right on by.
I was letting him finish the sentence, but I was going jump.
okay. I'm never going to say snatch again. Quote. Ready?
Oh, my stomach hurts now.
Quote. The leech disturbed is newly risen, quite to the summit of his prison. That's what Jenner wrote. There was one of many couplets, by the way, in his book, in his poem. I'm sorry, his poem called "Signs of Rain." By the way, the subtitle of the poem "Signs of Rain" was, quote, an excuse for not accepting the invitation of a friend to make a country excursion. It sounds a lot more like a public apology than it does a poem. But he
Honestly.
had these little couplets that said, here's some things
Yeah.
that indicate rain. He mentioned peacocks caterwauling,
Ooh.
Well,
pale
yeah,
sunsets, which I think...
What sunsets?
Pale sunsets.
Pale.
That is a sign of rain, apparently. And also, quote, snorting
Clouds.
swines could also be a sign of an impending storm.
Girl, then storms are always a coming because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just what the swine do.
And peacocks caterwauling?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's also what they do.
He was a vaccine scientist, so...
Yeah, not a
maybe not a
naturalist.
meteorologist.
Yeah.
For some reason, Merriweather focused on the leeches part of the poem, right?
I mean,
He thought it meant that leeches reacted to the disturbances in the weather that humans could not detect, and so we could use leeches to predict the onset of bad weather.
honestly, it's not the craziest thing I've ever
It's not
heard.
nutty.
Animals have a lot of senses that we don't.
Yeah. Although they still haven't
Birds.
proved the whole earthquake thing that animals, or the tsunami thing, right? Where supposedly
Yeah.
animals are running to high ground.
Right.
No, but birds literally have quantum mechanics
Yeah,
built
they're
into them, so
smart.
they
have
can
magnetic,
gravi-
right?
That's the
they can
quantum.
read the magnetic
Yeah.
field of Earth to go whatever thousands of miles
Yeah.
away and things like that.
North
So,
and south.
smart
and south
asses.
and north.
So we'll get to birds. Don't worry.
I like birds.
Yes, trust me, we'll get to birds. So in
Yeah.
1850, Meriwether went to work. He eventually came up with 6 designs for this device that he called an atmospheric electromagnetic telegraph conducted by animal instinct.
I'm surprised he chose electromagnetism to focus on for the
Yeah.
leeches. Not
Well-
like, I don't know, pressure. Something a little bit
I
more
know.
basic.
I don't know if they had a barometer by then or not. They may have.
That's true.
They probably
I'll bet
did.
they
They
did.
probably
They
did.
probably
Yeah.
did.
Pretty catchy name though.
Very.
Yeah.
That would probably fly off the shelves onto carts at Amazon. Not right these days. I'll bet.
Yeah.
I want one.
I kind of do too. Actually, I do. The varieties were based on cost. So we had 6 varieties going from cheap to very ornate. The cheap ones he thought would be inexpensive and would be perfect
love
for
it.
like government and shipping, like mass produce these things. Everybody have these leech machines
Hey, if
in
they
their
work.
office to see if it's raining. The ultimate version, the really top end version that he made was actually really artistic. It was this elaborate design that it was presumably he thought, I guess that would be for what, ostentatious rich people who wanted to know if they needed to bring an umbrella with them, because it would be
Yeah.
very expensive to make a number of these.
Fancy people
Yeah.
who
If you're
like
gonna
better
have-
things.
Yeah, if you're gonna have it in your house, it better be
I suppose.
pretty and decorative.
Okay, all right. That elaborate version, though, he designed to be reminiscent of an Indian temple, and he planned on showing it at the Great Exhibition at the Crystal Palace in London's Hyde Park, set for later in the year in 1851. It was going to be this big, release to the mass public.
Yeah.
He kind of wanted a warm up, though. So here he's in Whitby, smaller town, and he figured he'd present it to his fellow folks at the Philosophical Society at Whitby in February of 1851. They had a little gathering. He would present it there. He did this by way of a 3-hour reading of an essay that
Holy
extolled the
shit.
virtues of his new device.
Oh man.
I would have said, listen, at hour 2, you're
Give
getting
me,
cut the fuck off.
11 minutes, dude. At the most.
I mean,
crazy.
people tend to talk a lot at
Yeah.
those kind of things. But damn.
As we've said before
Boring.
on the show here, before the advent of the internet and television, people did crazy ass things like going to 3-hour essays on obscure topics
Yeah.
voluntarily for entertainment.
yeah.
Now we have TikTok. Maybe we've gone a little backwards.
I'd rather have TikTok. That shit sounds so boring and pretentious.
He called his presentation, quote, an essay explanatory of the tempus prognosticator in the building of the great exhibition for the works of industry of all nations. So he was very humble. He
Oh
was
my God.
right to the point. But at least now we had a name for the device, the tempus prognosticator, which basically means storm predictor.
Yep.
Yes, was a fascinating machine. Let me explain. Meriwether's tempest prognosticator was a circle of English pint bottles situated around this ornate bell at the top. And it's not just like a bell like you think. It had a think of it more of like almost like a dome kind of a shape, but very like again it looked sort of like an Indian temple.
Okay.
The glass bottles were all connected by little metal tubes stuck in a whalebone stopper at the top of the bottle, and these tubes were then attached to wires that led up to hammers that could strike the bell above them, right? So the whole contraption was over 3 feet tall, and it's made of mahogany, silver, and brass. So like I said, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful machine. We'll talk about this in a minute, but there's a replica that survives to this day. After letting the assembler get a good look at his device, Meriwether set it to work. So he poured rainwater into each of the 12 bottles. He thought that about 1.5 inches of the water was enough. So he goes around, pours 1.5 inches of rainwater in all of the 12 bottles. He then dropped a live leech into all 12 bottles of
Just one?
the rainwater. Just one in each bottle. So he had 12 total. So now came the prognostication part.
Okay.
Meriwether figured that when the leeches sensed an electric disturbance in the atmosphere, that presaged rain. They thought they would do what leeches do in nature. He thought they would move upward through the hollow metal tubes toward the tops of the bottles, right? When they reached the top, they would dislodge that whalebone. That would in turn, so that whalebone little stopper would drop, and that would pull a wire that would then
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell with the hammer. It would ring the bell. And it's kind of like a mousetrap sort of a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Rube Goldberg with leeches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And we'll have pictures on. There are pictures of it. We'll put those on our social media. He thought that the leeches would do this because in nature, again, leeches moved toward the surface of the pond or wherever they lived when it was about to rain. They thought it'd be easier to feed on some delicious, scrumptious blood. I'm not sure how that's true, but that appears to be true. Or why that's true, I don't know.
What animals collect at the surface of a pond during rain?
And actually, he thought before it rained. So at some period before it rained, like they felt the atmospheric disturbance. It was going to rain, so they went to the top to get ready for food when it rained. I'm not 100% sure how that works.
Do deer sense rain and they're like, let me go get a drink? And the leeches like, me too. I'm going to get a drink of your blood.
What? I don't know.
Something like
Maybe,
that.
yeah, I guess.
Ecology is very complex, but that sounds a bit far-fetched.
Well, this made his 12 leeches kind of a jury, and he actually called them his, quote, jury of philosophical counselors.
Oh, my God. This man just likes to talk about everything in the most arcane terms.
So when a leech felt that the onset of bad weather was upon them, they would rise to the top, ring the bell, and someone, I guess, attending to this machine would note this. The more leeches that rang the bell, the more certain you were that the rain was on the way. So this is why we invented the word genius. This is phenomenal. If you had 8 or 9 or 10 rings, okay, it's dead certainty.
Rain.
Yeah.
If you had 1 or 2, not so
Maybe
much. Meriwether tested his device for about a year. All throughout 1850, he was testing it, preparing for his unveiling. During this period, he would fire off a letter to a guy named Henry Belcher, who was the Whitby Institute head, predicting a storm whenever his leeches had told him a storm was on the way. He wrote 28 of those letters over the course of 1850, and he claimed he was very successful. We'll talk about that in a second. Some leeches, he said, were really, really good prognosticators. Others, he wrote, were, quote, absolutely stupid.
Because that's how it works.
Well, that is the reason he had the committee approach. That's why he settled on having lots of leeches. So you
No.
can, kind of filter out the dummies.
See, yeah. You'd really filter out the dummies and get all the good ones in.
You would think. Over time, Meriwether grew attached to his leeches, and they grew attached to him. Pun. Actually, they did not. He said that after he had handled them for a while, they'd rarely try to bite him anymore. And that, quote, some of them have, over and over again, thrown themselves into graceful undulations when I have approached them, I suppose as an expression of their being glad to see me.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I buy that.
I don't either.
It's a man and his leeches.
I mean, a lot of
It's
people who
wonderful
own
story.
leeches do let them feed off of them.
That's weird.
Personally.
I don't like it.
And people, I mean, it's a thing.
We don't.
Just don't do it.
No.
We don't appear to have any statistics, though, so we don't know exactly how accurate he really was and his leeches really were. But he
Ask
thought
the
they were
other guy.
great.
What about the guy who
he
sent
sent
the
the
letters
letters
to?
There's no, apparently, nothing I read said anything about, he was right 21 another 28 times, whatever. So I don't know. Maybe that guy was just like, oh my God, another letter from this asshole and tossed it away. I don't know. So he thought, though, that his device was going to save thousands of lives.
Live?
Yeah, absolutely. He thought that they could put a bunch of them along the whole coast of England and warn whenever a storm was going to hit the island.
Well, were people dying of rain a lot?
Absolutely.
Oh, girl, floods in those little low-lying islands?
Absolutely, sure. Let's assume yes. I don't know.
Oh, they'll get you.
He admitted, however, that he could not predict the direction of the storm and the timing, only that it would be, quote, soon.
So how useful?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see how this is going to save lives.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of that, too.
Neither did anyone else, because sadly, Meriwether pleaded with the British government to buy a bunch of devices and, again, deploy them all over the country to tell about the weather. The government instead went for a thing called a storm glass invented by Robert Fitzroy. Fitzroy was a naval officer. He had been governor of New Zealand. And more famously, he was the captain of the HMS Beagle that transported Charles Darwin on his epic voyage of evolutionary discovery. Fitzroy was also an early meteorologist, and he developed this thing called a storm glass. It's basically a glass filled with a fluid made of like camphor and water and other that was supposed to change color and cloudiness, and there's a whole table of if it does this, then this is the kind of weather that's coming.
Yeah.
If it does this, this is kind of the weather that's coming. It was almost like an early mood ring, I guess. And it's absolutely just as useful because it was complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
So, but you didn't have to have any leeches to make it run, so that was handy. Also contributing to the decision to not buy a bunch of tempest prognosticators by the British government may have been the fact that Meriwether claimed a great success in October 1950 when he predicted a major storm would hit Whitby.
1850, you mean?
1850, I'm sorry, 1850. He predicted a big storm. It happened 51 hours after his pronouncement. To him, that was like, nailed it.
Oh my God.
So maybe people didn't think that was quite as spot on as
No.
he thought. Although by the standards of the time, that's probably
Yeah.
not terrible. Then again, it's in England. Just say it's going to rain if it rains in the next 2+ days.
Exactly.
You're right? No.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
In October,
It's
by the
going to
way.
be sunny within the next 3 days, guys.
October in Yorkshire. Yeah. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not looking at a chart right now, but I'm assuming there's quite a bit of rain. Sadder still, though, somewhere over the years, that original elaborate device was lost.
Oh.
Someone, however, made a replica in 1951 for the 100th anniversary of his showing, and that was displayed in some event they had then. I can't remember. There are even some replicas around today. One of them makes an annual appearance at the Great Dickens Christmas Fair in San Francisco. So
How
maybe
fun.
one day we'll go see a tempest prognosticator.
We have a Dickens Fair here. I wonder if it'll ever come here.
Doubtful.
Don't know why you'd connect the two, but okay. Well, I feel like Dickens is well known about it. I mean,
Yes, Mr. Charles loved it here.
we love the tempest prognosticator. So that's the tempest prognosticator. Now we're going to move on to number 2. We're going to do 3 here, by the way. In
Okey-dokes.
part 1. It's going to be 2. I don't know if I said anything up front. There'll be 2 parts of this. We've got 6 stories. We have 3 here today. The second one we have is, well, we're going to go underground now.
Moles.
No.
Oh.
Mining, as we all know, is a very dangerous occupation.
Oh.
Miners have to fear things like cave-ins,
Mm-hmm.
rock falls, flooding for sure.
Oof.
They also must be wary of poison gases.
Ding dong.
These are caused by things that they bring down with them into the mines.
Are we going to sing
Or-
a song?
What song would that be? I don't know.
Hi ho.
If I had a hammer, what song? What song you want to sing, Karen?
I'm not going to sing it now because it's going to give it away.
Okay.
Copyright.
Okay. Oh, I know what song you're thinking of.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, good guess. In the olden days, the most dangerous gas was
Oh, that one's.
carbon monoxide.
Hunted.
CO. CO was caused by the explosives that miners used to dig new ore veins. You know, they basically put dynamite into the rock. They
TNT.
chiseled the rock, put dynamite in, and exploded the whole shaft and saw what was there. It also was caused by the exhaust from oil-powered machines and engines
Yeah.
down there in
Yeah.
the mines. So lots of bad gases there. And, of course, adequate ventilation in these mines was expensive. You had to dig holes, little holes, all the way up
Yeah.
to the top. And mine owners have not always been known for being super people.
Really?
No, they have not, it turns out, oddly enough.
Yeah,
Weirdly.
Elon
He's a mining person?
is
Oh, is he?
an heir of it. Emerald mine
Oh, is he really?
in South
Yeah, in South
Africa, baby.
Africa. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well.
Bloody
Shocker.
dollars.
Carbon monoxide is colorless and odorless.
Yes, it is.
It's the scary one.
It
Wow.
starts out, it causes some dizziness at first, and then maybe you get a little headache, and then you have shortness of breath. But it can act really fast, and it can kill you. It kills you by suffocation. It replaces, right, the oxygen molecules in your blood. And so before the miner could fully understand what was happening, he was in trouble.
Yeah.
So it was bad. I mean, first the government had stopped letting mining companies use young children to mine, so now they had to dig taller tunnels. That was bullshit. And now you had toxic gases killing their miners with pretty much some regularity. Something had to be done.
Yeah.
So in Great Britain, where coal mining was a massive part of the economy,
Yeah.
something was done by a guy named John Scott Haldane. He was on the case. One of the sources I read, by the way, says Haldane is known to some as the father of oxygen therapy.
What?
So I imagine by the word some, they mean people directly involved in the oxygen therapy industry, because no one else knows who the hell the father of oxygen therapy is. Sorry. Just, I don't know why you'd think that. Haldane thought there must be animals out there that are more sensitive to toxic gases than humans are. He called this, an animal like this, he called a sentinel species.
That's a different.
Why?
Well, sentinel species is a thing in like epidemiology.
What does it mean? Oh, because it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? They're going to show you the effects of that disease for human population, right?
Kind of. Ecology in general, not always.
Okay.
Just
well, that's how you use it to mean something that would show the effects of toxic
Yeah.
gases before humans would be harmed.
it's a little less sacrificial. These days.
If you brought one of these creatures down into the mines and it keeled over dead, there'd still be time for human miners to get the hell out of the tunnels before the carbon monoxide or whatever toxic gas killed them. That was the idea.
Yeah, birds have very sensitive respiratory
systems. It turns out birds are a great sentinel species. Now, you guessed it. Birds generally have very fast metabolisms.
You said it.
But they take in tremendous amounts of oxygen because they have to fly and do things like that. They have tiny little lungs. So I didn't know this.
Bunch of lungs.
Did you know they actually absorb oxygen both on intake and the exhale?
Well, they do it at the same time.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah, one-way breathing.
They have little. It said they have little air
sacs.
They hold air in extra sacs. So I don't know. This is according to an article in Gizmodo. We don't need to talk about the science right now, mainly because I don't understand it.
It's true. They have instead of just two lungs that kind of inflate at the same time, I think they have a bunch of different independent air sacs throughout their body that can sort of do this exhaling and inhaling at the same time.
Really?
Very efficient.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're taking just a ton of, for their body size, tremendous amounts of oxygen.
Flying is very energy hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's birds, right?
Birds.
Canaries are birds.
Parrot.
They're also small. They're also plentiful. Miners could have used mice, but that double dose of oxygen in the canary or the small bird meant it could detect toxicity in the air before a little mammal could do so. So effectively, canaries were an early warning system than some other small, easily transportable mammal, which was the first thought they had. Mice,
Makes
actually.
sense.
I mean, lucky for mice.
I know, right?
Unluckily for mice, they have proved very popular for animal experimentation since they breed really fast.
Yeah.
And at least when they're albinos, they have those scary, satanic-looking red eyes that make them much less cute, and we don't care about them, sadly. So canaries, as this early detection system, was actually adopted officially in 1911 by British miners. It became all the rage. So the canaries in the coal mine became a thing in 1911.
It was way earlier.
I would have thought so too.
Wait, you said 1911?
1911.
I would have thought this was early industrial
So did
revolution
I.
type shit.
Yeah.
The sources I read said this became a thing in 1911.
They didn't figure it out,
Haldane
did they?
figured this out, and it was instituted around 1911.
Interesting.
I don't know. That is later than I thought too. Yeah.
I wonder if maybe certain miners here and there had thought of it and
Maybe.
started doing similar things before then,
but not on
with
a
maybe
mass way.
Yeah.
At this point, anyway, it quickly spread from Britain to U.S. and Canada and elsewhere, and became a pretty common thing in mines. In fairness, sometimes the birds could be resuscitated after evacuation with miners.
No.
They even had special cages to resuscitate the birds.
Really?
But all too often, though, they died heroes,
Aw.
saving human beings.
Yeah.
Poor little babies.
1986 marked the last canary used in a coal mine
Seriously?
in Britain. Yep.
Holy cow.
Are you surprised?
It wasn't until then that researchers
a
had
little bit.
perfected a non-living gas detector called, in quote, electric nose. This is a digital device that they can bring down and see what the level of toxicity was in the atmosphere. So the British government mandated they stop using canaries, and they had to buy these electric noses and use them instead.
Wow. 1986.
1986, yep.
Holy moly.
And that was when they were, set free, or probably not. But they could have been
Yeah.
adopted because they probably were adopted because
Yeah.
many miners were kind of wistful about the end of this canary in coal mines era. That one told BBC, quote, "They are so ingrained in the culture, miners report whistling to the birds and coaxing them as they worked,
Oh my God,
treating
I
them
was
as pets."
About to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
They did whistle a little fucking miner shanty to the bird, and the bird go beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
So they're like pets that were purposely put in harm's way to save themselves. So that's,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not a great,
Animals and humans have had a complicated relationship.
that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that upset about it, to be honest.
Carrie's had a mini stroke. I think she's okay now, though. Raise your right arm. Do you smell burnt toast? You all right?
Smile for me.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Don't smile with both sides of your mouth. Okay,
She is.
there we go. So the practice, though. Wait. Oh, okay. The 1980s in Britain also brought to an end the use of pit ponies.
Oh, that just sounds bad.
These were the small horses that they brought down to the mines to pull the carts filled with, I guess, rock ore, back-breaking work that humans couldn't do very well, and they would do it for years and years and years. And as Carrie is going to tell us now, I think we actually talked about this when we did the episode, the little mini episode on the scary hospital.
Oh, did we?
The abandoned. I think we did, but we were in Nevada City recently, and what did we learn
We did a mine tour, a gold mine tour, and we learned that they take donkeys down
Yeah.
into the mines, and they have to sedate them
At
to
2
get
years
them
old.
to
Remember?
get them down there. Yep,
Yeah.
when they're about 2 years old, and then they basically live their entire lives down in the mine until they're like
Age
18
20,
or something.
18
Oh.
years. At age
Yeah.
20, they would, if they're still alive, which I have to think was rare, they were brought back up and allowed to frolic
Like live in a
pasture.
pasture. Yeah.
Yikes.
So pit ponies were still a thing, also into the mid 1980s in British coal mines.
Yikes! Come on,
Yeah. So
y'all.
yeah,
You
we
had
have
machines. There's really no
Yeah.
excuse. I don't know that they were common, but they were apparently still
Yeah.
a thing, and
That's
they outlawed
terrible. And how could a mammal live underground
them. Yeah, vitamin D.
for so long?
I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yo no sé.
The
See,
British-
that's cruel. I have a
Yes, it
humongous
is.
problem with that more so than the canaries.
More so than the canaries.
Carrie's
Yeah.
I
a
have an
mammalist.
equal problem.
Carrie is a
really.
mammalist. She's a mammalist.
What the hell?
She didn't care about birds.
Well,
Just because they're
They
dinosaurs.
die
Carrie.
all the time.
But the donkeys aren't down there to save lives.
Didn't
The
you have a
canaries
canary?
were. I had a cockatiel.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
All right, so
budgies deserve just as much.
Sure,
Agreed.
but it's to save human lives.
Oh my
Okay,
God! So
well.
if it's to save a human life, everything else is expendable.
I didn't say everything.
Well,
Just some things.
just some other. Yeah.
This is getting uncomfortable. Let's move on.
I disagree.
The British government gave miners a year to phase out their use of canaries when they passed that legislation. At the time, there were still 200 canaries in use.
How many?
200. You mean 200? That's the proper pronunciation. I knew. God, Carrie doesn't miss anything. She's vicious. This kitty
I
has
wonder where she got that
claws.
shit from.
Not
bitch.
me.
I'm getting
Damn.
back at you for Don H.
Okay. What? Okay. Well, fair enough. Those 200. You wonder though how many of those 200 were like, I don't know, soldiers at the end of a lost war, just trying to hang on for the last year and live through and get to the other side, so they could live in a cage in someone's living room, pooping on newspaper and drinking water from that little tube at the end of a bottle.
Yeah.
That is not what birds drink.
I don't know. What do birds drink out of then? What?
A bowl of water.
Oh, really?
bowl,
You put a
you
bowl?
freak
They're not
bitch.
gerbils.
I'm thinking rodents.
thinking of
I bet you can
rats.
train a bird to
They don't
drink
have-
out of a little tube.
How?
Why not?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
I don't know. I'm not
They
sure.
had a tongue
The
like that.
little metal ball in there.
Yeah, having some delicious bird seed. Num, num, num. Better than being in a mine waiting to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
Now we move on to our last item of this episode. For this one, we start with a man named Burris Frederick Skinner.
Yep.
What was he better known as?
Mr.
B.F.
Skins.
B.F.
Skinner.
Skinner.
Oh.
Yeah, B.F. Skinner, the psychologist, the famed behavioralist. His name was Burris Frederick, hence B.H. B.F.
Oh.
He was famous for believing that we are all creatures of behavioral habit. We will react in predictable ways to external stimuli. Essentially, he felt that what happened outside you was more important than what happened inside you. I just succinctly explained behavioralism right there. More or less. To show this, behavioralists like Ivan Pavlov, remember him, the famous dog experiments, they used animals, didn't they?
Yep.
With
Which
the-
is funny because, I mean, we are animals, but we're different than animals.
Not that much.
We can be conditioned.
Yes, we can.
Yes, but there's a lot of differences.
Fox News has proven that. Anyway,
Yeah.
with the right stimuli, animals could be trained to do amazing things in predictable ways. Pavlov, of course, did this with his dogs. When World War II came around, Skinner, a patriotic American, thought he needed to think of a way to use animals and conditioning to help the Allies win the war. Let me explain. The Allies came to have a pretty decided advantage in the air as the war dragged on The German Luftwaffe was very, very powerful
Yeah.
in the beginning. But like 1943, 44, with the U.S. in the war, there was a kind of an air advantage. And so the Allies had been conducting some pretty effective bombing raids. They could be, they terrorized the population, and they also took out military installations and things like that. But the Allies thought, this could be so much more effective if we could just find a reliable way to guide the bombs and missiles rather than just flying over a target and I don't know, being flying a certain speed and a certain height and kind of hope for the best as you drop a whole slew of bombs, right?
Yikes.
The military, that is, they wanted to be able to aim their missiles.
They want more precision in killing people.
Absolutely. So that's where Skinner came in. Skinner, who at the time was still a fairly young psychology professor at the University of Minnesota, he went to the National Research Defense Committee and he said, I have an idea. The committee was not super sold on his idea, but they thought enough about it that they said, what the hell? We've got plenty of money. Here's $25,000. Go see what you can do.
Damn.
They were trying to win a war.
I guess.
And he was, he was not super well known by this point. He hadn't become really famous yet, but he was a respected academic. Mm-hmm. And he had a pretty cool idea, as you'll see in a second here. Skinner's scheme was all about pigeons.
Oh, pigeons.
As my grad school friend Adam called pigeons. Yes. Rats of the sky, some people call them.
I mean...
Oh, they're nasty. I'm not a huge pigeon
what do you
fan.
mean?
You
I've
motherfucker.
never
You take
been
that
a
back
huge pig.
immediately. Their little noise, their little coo.
The
is
coo is
so
pretty cute.
The
I won't lie about that. Okay, that's true.
A bird's a bird's a bird.
A dove is a pigeon.
No.
Yeah.
No, a bird is not a bird. As a bird is a
Yes.
bird. No.
Well, I
They're
don't
all
know.
fascinating.
Agreed.
I really like birds.
But ravens and crows are much, much smarter than other
Smarter.
birds. They are smarter.
Yeah.
They are 100 times smarter, in my opinion. Skinner had used pigeons in his research before. He had trained them to press levers with their beaks to get food, for instance, as part of his, operational conditioning.
See?
One day, according to Skinner, he was looking up in the sky and he saw a flock of birds flying in formation and kind of moving as one, as if they're responding to invisible commands. So he thought, eureka. He thought suddenly birds could be used as devices. He thought of them as devices, as a matter of fact.
Listen,
he said,
Skinner.
he was inspired, okay? They were maneuverable, they were fast, they had great vision, and as he knew, they could be trained. So naturally he thought, quote, could they not guide a missile? Was the answer to the problem waiting for me in my own backyard? Unquote.
Pigeon-guided missiles.
So that's what BF thought. So, he thought birds can do these things. He thought the best bird for this was pigeons. Again, he had experience with pigeons. He could train them, and he thought they were smart. They also had great vision. And more importantly, he felt that they were unfazed by like loud noises and chaos and things like that around them. I'm guessing by, parks and,
they live
kids
in
running
big
around.
cities.
Being in the
Yeah.
New York.
I guess so, yeah, probably so.
Probably.
He was in Minnesota at this time, but still.
He's like, oh, those New York pigeons, they're used to it. They've been shot. Like,
That's my guess. It doesn't say,
Yeah.
not that I read, but probably, and he's probably not wrong. They were around people and crowds and running kids and things like that.
if they're
Yeah.
conditioned in that way.
I guess so.
But if they're just born in quiet little Minnesota,
Well, he
they'll
went and
probably be a
got
little
city
more skitty.
pigeons. He got city pigeons, I'm assuming.
Pigeons? No, that doesn't really.
Just city pigeons.
City pigeon.
So first, though, he needed to make a mechanical device for these avian devices, pigeons. He built a nose cone that he would attach to the tip of a missile. Inside the cone, he fixed 3 tiny electric screens in 3 little cockpits, and into which he would place a little pigeon pilot in each of the 3 cockpits with the screen in front of them. Okay, all this in a nose cone that he had attached to an explosive missile. Okay, bear with me.
Wait, the pigeon is inside that?
Is inside the 3 of them are. So you have a
Okay.
nose cone. It has 3 compartments, cockpits. He called them. He put a pigeon in each of the 3 compartments, and in front of that pigeon was a screen.
Okay.
An electrical
Electric screen.
I don't know what that like.
Yeah.
Like an LED, like a
Not LED,
like a
but a
TV
little
screen?
TV screen. Yeah, a little mini TV screen.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have TV. At the
Sure they
time.
did. This is the mid-1940s. This is 1943, 44, something like that.
Mother.
Yeah, they did.
Cathode
Okay.
ray tubes,
Yeah,
mama.
They did.
Okay.
So just trust us, Gary.
I trust you.
They also,
yeah.
yeah.
Primitive, but yeah.
Yes, very primitive. But they didn't need to be all that great. How to get these natural avian pilots to guide bombs toward their targets, though, was still a question. So he said,
Yeah.
I got an idea, said BF. He said, we'll project images onto the electronic screens that will portray some, like the ground that the missile... Woo! Lily,
Lily, no.
you're a bad girl. You're a loud barker. Look at this out. There she goes.
She's excited.
She's a very excitable
Happy
young
lady.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Skinner would project images onto the electronic screens that would portray some of the ground that the missile was hurtling down towards. He thought that you could train them to recognize the ground and the formation of the ground, the image of the ground that they wanted to target with the bomb. So, a munitions factory, let's say. So if they saw, if the screen was picking up a munitions factory below, they would recognize that as the target they wanted to respond to. He wanted the pigeons to respond to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, but then how did they then steer the missile towards
Yeah.
it?
That was the next part. I mean, so far so good, but he still needed to
Sure.
exactly needed to steer it. So
Yeah.
he thought, okay, when the pigeons see the target that they had been trained to recognize, they would peck the screen. And it was right there in front of them in the
Sure.
little compartments. They just start pecking the screen, right?
Okay.
When all three birds pecked at the same time, that would indicate that the target had been sighted. Again, it was almost a little bit like Meriwether's leech jury.
A little bit.
That predicted storms. He thought there was kind of, certainty in numbers. You got three in there. You don't rely on one. If they all three are pecking, we're onto something. But you still had to aim the missile toward the target as the pigeons pecked away. So he said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. We'll attach cables to the pigeons' heads, right? That would in turn be attached to the missile steering mechanism. I guess I don't know, rudders, whatever. I don't know. I didn't research that.
Fins.
Fins, maybe, sure. Pecks right in the center of the screen, steer the missile straight. Keep going how you're going. If you peck to the left, it would have the missile veer to the left a little bit. If they peck to the right side on the right side of the screen, it would have the missile veer a little bit to the right side of the screen until they centered on their target, and then they'd peck the middle and go straight on into infinity and beyond.
I mean, if you can train these little bitches to do that.
He knew he could train his pigeons. He was a good pigeon trainer.
Maybe. However, how does this translate to a battlefield?
By
What do you
blowing
mean,
things up. What do you
girl?
mean? Yeah, remember the cone is on the end of the missiles.
Okay, who's training the pigeons on the
Oh,
fly?
we'll get no on the fly.
not on
You
the
train them before you
fly.
put them in.
You
You
plan
train them. You train them to
bombings.
recognize. Okay, here's a munitions factory, or here's a whatever, and you train them to recognize that and to peck that when they see that image.
No, I understand that, but okay, so today, some colonel decides he wants to bomb the munitions factory.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, the other colonel's going to decide he wants to bomb Hitler's castle. I don't know.
Hitler's
How do
castle. Is that a
you-
video game?
How do you train each pigeon for
What do
a
you mean?
different
Well,
target?
they have-
the
have-
targets aren't going to be
No,
the
I
same
know.
all
Yeah,
the
they have
time,
pigeon
and they're all
handlers.
going to look
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
different.
And okay, in a week we're gonna want to do this, so let's train some
That's
pigeons
what
to
I'm
do
saying.
that in a week.
How much
Probably
time does it
through-
take? And during
I don't
in
know.
the middle of a war, you don't have a week.
Pigeons are smart.
You think
Skinner
are they
thought.
planning all of their bombings a week or so
Or maybe
ahead?
they could just be used to bomb certain common things that were frequently bombed. How's that?
Yeah.
Something with
I guess
smokestacks.
we'll find
I
out
don't know.
how successful this endeavor.
Yeah, I
went.
think you might be thinking into it a little bit too much.
But she does seem
logically.
angry, doesn't
I
she?
have problems with it.
Yes, you do.
Oh, me
Okay,
too.
so does
mainly,
everyone.
mainly
except Biff
sticking
Skinner.
pigeons in a missile. That's my number one issue.
Trust me,
with
that was
it.
not the problem people had with
Also,
it.
it seems expensive.
Though. Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Compared to a missile?
Yeah, I know.
It
It's
seems
a small fraction
relatively
of the cost of that missile
inexpensive.
you're exploding. I'm sure. It's just a
Oh, no,
cone
I
with
don't think
three
screens.
pigeons.
Pigeons are expensive.
Little tiny screens. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
the
And some
screens.
training time.
Yeah, but at the time, that technology probably wasn't super cheap.
I don't know. They make it themselves.
You got cathode ray and
It
some
wasn't.
glass.
They didn't get it retail. So I don't think so.
They didn't
So-
go to Radio Shack.
No, they did not. So pecking and piloting, the pigeons would smash nose cone first into the target and
Aw.
blow up along with the explosive that they had guided. And so they were kind of like kamikaze pigeons, but they would help the good guys win the war.
Mom's fine with that.
She's fine with that. She's just very skeptical, right? Well,
no,
guess what,
I am
Carrie?
actually not fine with that.
Oh,
She's
now.
not at all fine with that. Although you were very pro bird death earlier.
Yeah, picking and choosing.
That's to save the lives
This
of
is true.
men
This
that
is
are
true.
doing something that they have to do.
Okay,
This
we're
is to
fighting
save the lives of
Nazi
6 million
Germany.
Jews, Mom.
That's true.
Nazi Germany.
I don't.
Okay?
I know.
I have an
don't-
issue with
I
that.
don't-
If there's
I don't
ever
like
been a
war.
black and white war, that was the one.
True.
So it turns out, Carrie, naysayer, skeptic, that it worked.
Who said that?
In reality, it did work. They did multiple
Damn.
demonstrations. B.F. Skinner did multiple demonstrations for Army brass, and they worked quite well.
Good job,
Interesting.
pigeons.
The pigeons they're in the nose cone and they'd peck away and they'd ignore them. They were hurtling through space. There was a lot of noise and rattling all around them.
Yeah,
Didn't
I'll
phase them
bet.
at all, like he expected. They just pecked away
Well, how
when they
does
saw
he
the
know it
sight.
didn't phase them?
Well, because
'Cause
they
they still
kept
did their
pecking and they
job.
successfully pecked
Well,
and
sure.
accurately guided the missiles. So
Maybe they
that's
were
how we
just
knew.
feverishly
Super
pecking in
agitated,
panic, and
yeah.
they just happened to guide the right
Oh
place.
no! Yeah, all luck. I mean, they were trained to keep the missiles on target, and they followed their training.
I wonder how the hell you trained that little bitch.
So the pigeons won World War II. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not exactly, because military
Oh.
leaders, they just could not ever get comfortable with Project Pigeon, as it was called. And eventually, before it was actually used in warfare, they killed the project. And they made B.F. Skinner very unhappy. He said, quote, "Our problem was no one would take us seriously." He was said to be pretty bitter about this when they pulled the plug on his project.
Yeah, at least you got 25,000, Skinner. Be happy for that.
Well, he probably
Yeah.
spent it all on little TVs.
Pigeons and TVs
Yeah,
and things like that.
but
Yeah, he
that's
did.
more than
He
most
did.
scientists ever get in their whole life.
I know. What Skinner
And
did
grant
not
money.
know at the time was that more sophisticated electronic answers were already in development.
Yeah.
Those would soon allow for missile guidance systems that did not rely on things that pooped inside little cockpits. So missile guidance would actually soon become a thing not too long after his little pigeon scheme. And so the
Yeah.
military didn't think they really needed it.
Your little pigeon scheme.
Today, the nose cone pigeon prototype resides in the Smithsonian's American History Museum. Go check it out if you're in Washington, D.C. Skinner kept the pigeons that he had trained and that lived, apparently.
I was going to say the ones that didn't blow to smithereens.
Yeah. Over the years, actually, he would occasionally bring them out of retirement and see if they still had their targeting skills. He'd put them in front of, in the cockpit, I don't know, and put them in front of little screens and see if they still did it. And they did. Even 6 years later, Skinner's pigeons still had their piloting skills intact.
Huh. So you want to take back what you said about pigeons not being very smart?
I didn't say that. I said I don't like them. They're gross. They're rats of the sky. Not a fan.
But then you talked about how much smarter ravens and crows are.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Ravens and crows would have said, "This is a terrible idea. You don't."
Yeah, they actually could
We're not
probably
cooperating.
say that.
So
I'm
you
sorry.
think ravens and crows can talk?
I do.
They-
I
Okay.
do.
They can.
They clearly can, Gary. Telepathically. Maybe
Mom.
you're not in tune, but some of us are.
Crows can talk.
Yeah, crows can talk. I want a raven. Can I get a raven?
No.
You go on YouTube right
I'll
now.
call it Edgar Allan.
Oh my God.
That's too obvious, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Just a bit.
I'll call it Nevermore. No?
Also
Still
on
too-
the nose, but
sorry.
okay.
I'll think of a name. Randy Raven. So
I'll take that.
It's true that we have laser guided missiles today, but if one day we bomb ourselves into the Stone Age, maybe some future general can remember back to the pigeons, and it'll be a giant technological leap forward in warfare. Who can say?
And then we got leeches, and I hope we never need those parakeets for that. They'll just be our friends.
Okay.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
That is the end of part 1, folks. Join us next time. Should I give them a little tidbit of
Yeah.
what we're going to see?
Tease it, Dean.
We're going to talk about frogs. We're going to talk
I knew
about
it.
snails.
Oh my God.
And we're going to talk about bats and dolphins.
Oh,
Wow.
And that last one is one that was a little bit, the outcome's not awesome. So, but still, again, not going to be graphic.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be interesting. Okay, that's
Have
it.
fun.
Yeah, this went a completely different direction than
Well,
I thought
I'm
it was
glad.
gonna
That's
go,
why I wanted
so-
to say beforehand. I mean, this is not going to be. This is
Yeah.
humans using animals for
Yeah.
fun and pleasure, but it's in
That sounded gross.
That does sound gross. But
We must move along.
okay. That's it. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Have fun.
Bye.
Goodbye.